a wasp or a hornet that was up on the window there. She literally fought it and killed it. Timothée Chalamet had not put his whole Timothy into this. As a girl who can't hear without her subtitles, get her on the phone, casting directors. Hey y'all, welcome to a new edition of One Sentence Movie Reviews, where we talk about everything that I watched the month prior. That month this time being April, so we're gonna talk about everything that I watched in the month of April. I think we'll just get right into it, okay? I watched 32 films last month. Out of those 32 films, there were 7 rewatches and 4 theater watches. Weirdly, I watched a bunch of movies about prostitution. I didn't even mean for that to happen. Like, it just happened to be the movie that I picked. So last month, the new season of Black Mirror premiered. I love Black Mirror. I've always been a fan. But sadly, while I'm watching Black Mirror, I will go through a lull. And as the seasons come out, I never fully finish the season that has just come out, like, if that makes sense. So for instance, last time we had a Black Mirror season was in 2023. I watched half of that season, and then the new season came out last month and I had to finish up half of last season, and then I only made it through half of this season. So I'll see you in 2027 when I finish watching the rest of Black Mirror of the most recent season. What I'm gonna do in this video is talk about all the movies that I watched in order of star rating, so 5 stars to half stars. But as for the Black Mirror episodes, I am gonna just talk about those separately at the end of the video. I'm not adding it to the regular, list of what I watched last month. And then the final and most exciting disclaimer that I want to put before we get into what I watched is that I finally have a brand new 5-star watch. Yeah, okay, so what I mean by that is that I'll watch a lot of my favorite movies, a lot of movies that I have given 5 stars to before. Those aren't new 5-star watches, obviously, because I have seen them before. I gave them 5 stars before. Maybe I saw them in my childhood and I knew that they were 5 stars back then. But since December, when I saw Nosferatu, that was the last time I had seen a brand new movie and gave it 5 stars. And up until now, up until last month in April, I finally have a brand new 5-star watch, and I'm so excited to share that with you today. Something that I do on my Letterboxd account is my 4 favorites. It's impossible, absolutely impossible for me to actually give my 4 favorite movies, right? So what instead I'll do for those 4 slots is change them up every time I have a brand new 5-star watch. I even have it in my bio, like the 4 favorites are my most recent 5 stars, something like that. All right, that's enough disclaimer. Let's get into the video. Starting with 5 stars, the first 5-star I watched was a rewatch of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This is from 2001, directed by Chris Columbus. One of the very greatest book to movie adaptations ever. You'll see here in a minute that this actually was a very Harry Potter month, and not in the way that you're thinking, okay? I'm excited to get into why. Going right into the next 5-star movie I watched, it was a Harry Potter musical. This is from 2009, directed by Matt Lang. Listen, this is on Letterboxd, so I'm adding it. Okay, if you are not on Tumblr anywhere between the years of 2010 and 2012, you might have no idea this exists. It's exactly what it says on the tin.
Over the last year, I've really grown attached to you.
What the hell is a Hufflepuff?
Harry Potter! Detention.
And you have to be my slave for a whole day starting now!
I watched this so many times as a teen, and the rewatch as an adult held up so well. I still remembered all of the songs. I remembered all of the jokes, all of the funny dialogue. The music is amazing. If you grew up on Harry Potter at all, you have to watch this musical, okay? It's just a fan-made parody musical about Harry Potter, okay? Specifically his second year of Hogwarts. But it's not like reminiscent of Chamber of Secrets, okay? What they do is they will pull from many different areas of the different books, and then they created this musical about Harry Potter. And as you will see here in a minute, there are more of them, so we'll get into it. But before that, the next 5-star movie I watched was Pride and Prejudice. This is from 2005, directed by Joe Wright. Watching this with a theater full of women and my boyfriend literally healed me. I get emotional thinking about how special that theater viewing experience was, and I will treasure it forever. Okay, if you don't know the story of Pride and Prejudice, I don't know what you're doing here. Pause this movie, go watch it. Pause this movie, go read it. I don't care. Focus Features brought it back for its 20th anniversary in theaters. It had a special, I don't know, I think it's still going on. I recently looked at showtimes at Lincoln Square, and they're still showing showings of Pride and Prejudice in theaters. So check your theaters in your area. maybe an AMC near you might still be playing it. If not, give it a rewatch anyway. It's a beautiful, well-made movie, another classic book to movie adaptation that I just love. I could watch this movie over and over and over. All right, getting back into the Harry Potter game, the next 5-star movie I watched was A Very Potter Sequel. This is from 2010, directed by Matt Lang. I'll never be able to explain how or why this is so iconic. It just really is. It takes me back to just being such a fandom girly back in 2010, 2012. I had so much fun with my online friends talking about the series and books and movies and adaptations that I love, Harry Potter being one of them, and it was so much fun to be like part of a Harry Potter fandom, but then also part of a Very Potter musical fandom, because the jokes there are just, they're so funny. I still quote them daily without even realizing that they came from Harry Potter musical. I think if I had to pick, my favorite character would obviously be Draco Malfoy.
Did someone say Draco Malfoy? I'll have the greatest whiz of career. It's gonna be totally awesome. I have no ulterior motive.
Lauren Lopez bodies his character.
Come on, I'm tired. Can't we just be Death Eaters?
In more ways than one, honestly. Again, if you have not seen these, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, just go look on YouTube, A Very Potter Musical, and have a blast. Honestly, you will have so much fun watching it. Directly after rewatching A Very Potter Sequel, I watched A Very Potter Senior Year, which is the third and final musical in this little series that StarKid produced. Okay, StarKid is like the theater group that created the musicals. This is from 2013, directed by Matt and Nick Lang. So this performance is actually a recording of like a staged reading that was done in 2013 at LeakyCon, which I think is like a Harry Potter con. Even though it is a staged reading, it still has full costumes and amazing musical numbers. You can watch, again, all of these on the StarKid YouTube page, and I implore you to, so that you know what I'm talking about and we can have like a common interest in a Very Potter musical. Okay, here it is. The brand new 5-star watch. Okay, this is not a 5-star rewatch. This is a brand new movie that I watched for the first time last month, and I was finally able to give it 5 stars. I'm a very picky reviewer, okay? Only my favorites, only my most favorites get 5 stars. There's many times where I've watched a 5-star movie, but I had to give it a 4.5 because it simply wasn't that extra 6 out of 5 stars, that extra oomph that made it an Emma Ruth certified 5-star movie, okay? Finally, I had a movie to take the spot, and that movie was A Different Man. This is from 2024, directed by Aaron Schimberg. I loved this movie. I want to own this movie. It is just, first of all, gorgeous to look at. The cinematography is amazing. There's like a grittiness to the screen, a graininess to the screen that I ate up. This is about a man named Edward who has a facial disfigurement that rules his life so much that he ends up undergoing a treatment to fix it. Once his face has changed, he meets a man named Oswald who has kind of the same exact facial disfigurement that he does, or that he did. Oswald has a very positive aura and outlook on life. He seems to live his life very positively, as if his facial disfigurement isn't even something that he himself notices, whereas for Edward, it was all he noticed. I loved how this story played out. The moral of your quality of life begins on your outlook on life. It was so funny. I was giggling a lot. The actors are superb. Adam Pearson, I really hope that this just bumps his career up just even more, because I think that he deserves to be seen in so many more movies. He's just such a captivating and charming man. This movie showcased his ability for this character so well. Oh my god, there's like a hornet in this room. Good girl, Pancake. Good girl. You got it. You see it? You see it? You did it. My cat literally just fought a wasp or a hornet that was up on the window there. She literally fought it and killed it. Oh, she's such a good bug hunter. Thank you for saving my life, Pancake. Okay, we are sitting on our butt for the rest of this video. I can't stand sitting on my knees any longer. So yeah, A Different Man was a really great movie. 5 stars. I could watch it again and again. I'd even say 6 out of 5 stars. I love the moral of the story. The acting was superb. Love the characterization. Love the cinematography. Loved it. Getting into the 4.5 stars. The first 4.5 star movie I watched was A Castle in the Sky from 1986, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. All right, you ready for this? This Studio Ghibli movie has everything. Pirates, men clobbering over themselves to help a pretty girl do the dishes, a magic crystal, sacrificing robots, and murderous family members. Time and time again, this studio will always impress me, always surprise me. I want to go through their movies so slowly because I don't want to run out out of content from them, and I understand I could just keep rewatching them and keep enjoying them over and over again, and that's the point of loving and watching movies, but I feel like I want to savor them, and I'm watching them very slowly. But I finally watched Castle in the Sky. 4.5 stars. Beautiful, wonderful movie. I don't think I've ever given a Studio Ghibli movie under 4.5 stars. Ooh, next 4.5 star I watched was Atonement. I finally watched this for the first time. This is from 2007, also directed by Joe Wright. It was a Joe Wright month. I watched it at a girls' night and we were sucked in. Only one of us had ever seen the movie before, so the rest of us were locked into that movie. Oh my god. Joe Wright has never missed. The way that he directs and brings a story to life is so gorgeous. This is the story of a young girl who misinterprets, also kind of goes out of her way to fabricate a rumor about a man that her older sister is in love with, and kind of the consequences that arise out of that. I was gobsmacked the whole movie. Literally had me gagged and gooped. I could not believe what I was watching, and then at the end, like, you have to be freaking kidding me. If you know, you know. If you don't, you should watch Atonement. The final 4.5 star movie I watched, I'm so excited. I saw Sinners. This is from 2025, directed by Ryan Coogler. This is the movie of the year until Mission Impossible comes out, of course. First of all, the music. The music! I didn't expect it to be so centered around music, but I'm ecstatic it was. I love music in movies. I love musicals. I love showcasing how music brings people together, how it shows generations, and this movie did a great job of showing the generational usage of music. There is so much romance on the screen as well. I almost feel like that plot point gets forgotten a little bit. This movie is super romantic. I loved every character. Everyone in the cast, everyone in the crew brought their A game. It's a beautiful, wonderful movie. It really is the movie of the year so far. All right, I had quite a few 4 stars. The first one I watched was A Hen in the Wind from 1948. This is directed by Yasujiro Ozu. Okay, this is about a mother whose husband is away at war and her son falls really sick, and she has to resort to prostitution to pay for his treatment. The husband comes home from war and she has to admit to him what's happened, and we just go from there and figure out the consequences of her decision. Ozu makes some of the most iconic and prolific Japanese movies from like the 1930s to 1960s decade. I've seen so many of his films. They always have to do with like family relationships, familial drama. This one was no different. I felt so sad at the end. I mean, there's just, I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you've seen this movie, the way that the wife gets treated is just sickening. I think he just does such a good job of portraying what families were like in that era and in that area. Next, I watched A Complete Unknown. This is from 2024, directed by James Mangold. Not to make myself sound young, but I've never heard a Bob Dylan song in my life, and so I had very little desire to see this, and I firmly believe that if Timothée Chalamet had not put his whole Timothy into this, I would have skipped it. But he delivered just like I always know he will. I think he's an amazing actor. He's the definition of like a Hollywood star. I think he works really hard for his craft and he deserves any accolades he gets along the way, for this movie included. Next, I watched Pretty Woman. This is from 1990, directed by Gary Marshall, who is the iconic director of The Princess Diaries, and ironically enough, a bunch of the actors from Princess Diaries are in Pretty Woman, so he's definitely an actor who likes to reuse his favorite, so he's definitely a director who likes to reuse his favorite actors, and I love seeing that. I love seeing directors who have their faves. The rumors are true. This movie is beautiful, and Julia Roberts is the most gorgeous person to ever grace the world. Next, I watched Superbad from 2007. This is directed by Greg Motala. This movie is so iconic that Hollywood tries desperately every year to remake it. They never have and they never will be able to. I watched this with a bunch of friends who have all seen it a million times. We laughed our asses off. It was a great night. I'm begging you to please leave your favorite Superbad quote in the comments. Next 4-star was Street of Shame. This is from 1956, directed by Kenji Mizoguchi. This is a story about like the passage of time of a few women's lives who work in a brothel in Japan, and this is going on while the country is debating passing an anti-prostitution law. It was really interesting because apparently at the same time Japan itself was actually debating the same exact law, and a lot of people speculate that this movie helped push that law through just because of the very realistic view that the movie portrayed. Next, I watched How to Have Sex from 2023. This is directed by Molly Manning Walker. I have been dying to see this because Mia McKenna Bruce is an amazing actress. It's about a trio of British girls who go on what is supposed to be the greatest summer vacation of their lives. Maybe it's a spring break vacation, I don't quite remember, but it actually ends up being a very realistic portrayal of rape culture, and just like I thought she would, Mia McKenna Bruce delivered and devoured. I want to see her cast in more. Get her on the phone, casting directors. And then the final 4-star movie I watched was Cría. This is from 1976, directed by Carlos Saura. This is about a little girl named Anna who is being raised by her aunt after her parents have passed. Anna is obsessed with death and she's a very melancholic child. I could not take my eyes off of Anna Torrent, who plays Anna, for a second during this movie. She is one of the most captivating children I've ever looked at in my life. I saw her in Spirit of the Beehive, which also really captivated me, simply just because of Anna Torrent. The movie really stuck with me. Cría has stuck with me since I've seen it. It's so hard to turn away from her performance. The whole story has this like blanket of sadness and melancholy overtaking it. Just seeing how she and her other 2 sisters navigate their life living under their aunt's thumb, I think about it a lot. All right, I had 3.5 stars. The first one was Penny Serenade from 1941. This is directed by George Stevens. Okay, this was the first movie I actually ended up watching last month. So Cary Grant and Irene Dunne struggle to have a child of their own, and then they end up getting the chance to adopt one. They learn how to parent while feeling like they are the most inadequate parents. I won't spoil the ending for you, but it's a freaking tearjerker. Okay, I had to sob into my pillow at the end of it. Ooh, okay. I am very terrified to talk about this one. So the next 3.5 star I watched was Bad Influence: The Dark Side of Kid Fluencing from 2025, directed by Jenna Rocher and Keith Davidson. This actually broke me. Like, it made me spiral. I feel so weird talking about it because I almost don't want to bring attention to these children. Like, I don't want more people to be looking up their content. This is a documentary about a kid influencer whose mother has exploited every ounce of her life on social media. She is still a minor to this day. Her mother would bring in a bunch of other kids to collab and make YouTube videos and other social media platforms. They kind of like, everyone would be in all the videos and then like they would decide, it was a business, like they would decide which video would go on each kid's channel. These children were abused and they eventually get out of it, so this documentary is more so their story. But the worst part about this documentary is when it's over and you go to look up the daughter on social media and look at the content she's still being forced to create. Like, it literally makes me feel so sick. Her mother is twisted. I still can't get it out of my head. I will never forget about that documentary. I will never forget how sick it makes me to think about this poor little girl. Moving on, the next 3.5 star movie I watched was Mads from 2024, directed by David Moreau, I think, actually. I love when a movie takes me by a pleasant surprise. Okay, this is a French single take horror film that excels with such a dedicated cast and crew. So it's about this guy that comes into contact with this deadly disease and he spreads it among multiple people throughout a single night. We follow multiple people and I really like that aspect of it because the only other single take films that I've seen in the past, we usually just follow one person. But with this one, there was so much involved with the cast and crew. I love seeing how excellent a crew can be in a movie, and this one they just really shine because it is a single take. It takes a village to make a movie like this, and they did a great job with it. I was thoroughly scared, thoroughly entertained, and thoroughly impressed. All right, I had quite a few 3 stars. So the first one I watched was Vivre sa vie. This is from 1962, directed by Jean-Luc Godard. This is a story told in 12 chapters about a Parisian woman who ends up resorting to prostitution. I didn't care for it. The black and white of France is so crisp and so clean, and I think that's my favorite part of Jean-Luc Godard's films. I'll be honest, I never have really enjoyed his movies. Like, maybe I need to just sit down and like really experience. If I just kind of watch them sporadically, I really don't find them that entertaining, unfortunately, that interesting. But one thing he has going for him is his crispness on the screen. Like, the way that he films France is always so beautiful. The final scene in this movie is insane. Next 3 star was Hell of a Summer. This is from 2023, directed by Finn Wolfhard and Billy Bryk. B-R-Y-K. It's a summer camp slasher. What more could you ask for? I was laughing a lot. They gave a lot of really good writing and direction to the characters. I believe this is a directorial debut for both of those boys for like a feature-length film, and I love to see that in theaters, especially a horror directorial debut. I really love supporting those, and I'm excited to see what they come up with next. Next was One of Them Days from 2025. This is directed by Lawrence Lamont. I am really upset that I missed this in theaters, but I was able to watch it at a friend's house last month. I laughed out loud a few times times. I mean, Keke Palmer is made for the spotlight. She's so engaging. I would really love to see her in a movie every year, so get her booked in Busy Boys. This is about two friends who lose their rent money and they have to make it back by the end of the day, and the hijinks that they get into along the way. Okay, the next 3-star movie I watched was The Leopard Man from 1943, directed by Jacques Tourneur. Okay, I love the Internet Archive. Really, I'm so glad that it exists, but I think that a lot of their movies don't have subtitles available, and as a girl who can't hear without her subtitles, parts of this movie got lost on me. It is about a leopard that gets loose, and on that night a woman is killed, and so a lot of people think that it was the leopard who did this. The next night another woman gets killed, so they think there's like this murderous leopard out on the prowl, but then we realize that there is a serial killer amongst them, and he's hiding in plain sight while the leopard is taking all the blame. It felt very much like a dinner murder mystery. It was like a fun time. Okay, I put it on while I was cleaning the house. Next 3-star I watched was a rewatch of In a Violent Nature from 2024, directed by Chris Nash. I rewatched it at a friend's house where no one else had seen it, so that was really fun to get everyone's reaction because I already knew what was coming. I was able to appreciate the slow burn in the very beginning a lot more just because I knew what was going to happen. There's a scene where all the kids are around a campfire telling scary stories, and I felt so scared and spooked during that scene. I think that that ending drags though. That is the one part of the movie that loses it for me, unfortunately, and of course the kills to this movie are insane. Alright, final 3 movies before we talk about the Black Mirror episodes that I watched. So the final 3-star movie that I watched was Drop from 2025, directed by Christopher Landon. I saw this trailer in theaters a billion times and then finally got to watch it in theaters last month. It's one of those horror movies that uses technology for evil, which is definitely something we've been seeing a lot of in the 2020s decade. A woman is basically being held hostage at a restaurant by someone in the restaurant who keeps airdropping her murderous memes, trying to make her kill the man that she's on a date with. It was solid. It was a very solid horror movie, I won't lie. Okay, I watched one 2.5-star movie that was Relic from 2020, directed by Natalia Erica James. I always thought that it was Lucy Hale that's in this movie, but it's Bella Heathcote. I always thought in the pictures that was Lucy Hale. Did anybody else make that mistake? This is another generational trauma story about a mother and her daughter who go to their mother/grandmother's house after she goes missing. The home is falling apart. Everything is very sinister and weird. There's a really cool scene where the daughter gets like stuck in the walls of the house somehow. I really love that. I actually think that this movie really excelled with a lot of really good haunted, scary imagery. But this whole movie is just set as like a giant metaphor that I was too stupid or too tired to care about. And then the final movie I watched last month was Don't Hang Up. I gave this one a 0.5 star, so the worst movie of the month. This is from 2016, directed by Alexis Washbrot and Damian Mace. So stupid, so boring, not entertaining. It's about these losers who film themselves doing prank calls, and then they finally get what's coming to them when they receive the final deadly prank call from someone who is messing with them. The movie is framed in a way where we're supposed to feel bad for these guys who are terrible people, and I didn't feel that way at all. It was not executed well. Okay, finally, to end this video out, I have 5 Black Mirror episodes to talk about and to report on watching. I will say I'm really upset that the campy, pulpy Black Mirror posters were not available for this new season. I actually despise these new posters. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about because I had half of last season to finish watching. The first one I had was Beyond the Sea from 2023, directed by John Crowley. I gave this one 3 stars. I actually really liked the story and the setup with this one. I felt excited to be back in the Black Mirror universe, but they really botched the ending, unfortunately. It has an all-star cast of Aaron Paul, Josh Hartnett, and Kate Mara. So it's basically about these 2 men who are astronauts. They are supposed to be up in space taking care of this satellite or something, but they have copies of them, so they're able to move back and forth from space and to also have like a home life at home. One of the characters' families gets completely murdered and he becomes very depressed because he no longer has any reason to be down on Earth, so his body is completely up in space, whereas the other man, he's able to go home to his idyllic family and home, and as a way to like kind of help his friend out of the depression, he allows him to basically be put inside the other man's body to go visit his family. He allows him to like be part of nature and paint and just kind of get back to his roots. And I obviously won't spoil the ending here for you, but I hated the way that this one ended. Next we had Maisie Day from 2023. This is directed by Uda Bruce-Witz. I gave this one 2 stars. This is about a bunch of paparazzi who follow a star around who's being held captive. Once they find out the reason she is being held, all hell breaks loose. It felt so flat. I saw a lot of people complaining that this didn't feel like a Black Mirror episode. It's definitely got more fantastical elements than like sci-fi technology elements, but I disagree. I think it felt like a Black Mirror episode. It just was really flat. And then the final Black Mirror episode from the last season that I saw was Demon 79 from 2023, directed by Toby Haynes. I gave this one 3 stars. A very meek and mild shoe sales assistant accidentally enlists a demon from hell who tells her that she has to murder 3 people in the next 3 days or the world will literally end. This one felt like a Black Mirror episode, whatever that means. Okay, so I watched 2 episodes of the newest season. Maybe one day I will finish it. We'll see. The first one was Common People from 2025. This is directed by Ali Pankiw. I really don't know how to say her name. Pankiw. I want to watch her movie I Used to Be Funny with Rachel Sennett. It's been on my mind and on my list, my watch list forever. Okay, now this one actually felt like a Black Mirror episode. It felt really reminiscent of like the older British Black Mirror episodes, like back when British TV owned it instead of Netflix. Okay, this stars Rashida Jones and Chris O'Dowd. It is about a man who agrees for his wife to enter into this new technology. She had fallen really sick and she was gonna die, but then this startup company came to him and was like, hey, if you pay us a monthly fee, we can keep her brain alive and she can like be well for you and everything. She was supposed to pass away, but he agrees to this. She comes back to life. As time goes on, the updates keep getting more and more expensive and he has to resort to doing really humiliating things online to keep paying for her treatment. They both end up sacrificing a lot for his decision to have the system be used on her. And the final movie I'm going to talk about today is Bête Noire. This is from 2025, directed by Toby Haynes. In this one, a woman from the main character's past gets a job at her job and slowly starts to like chip away at her successes. She has a device that can kind of create any reality that she sees fit. So if she wants everyone to think that the main character is lying about something, everyone will believe that lie. She just basically starts messing with her and makes her look really bad. And that was the final Black Mirror episode I watched last month, so the inevitable Black Mirror slump probably will proceed, and we'll see you in 2 more years when I finish the rest of last season. All right, that was everything that I watched last month. I want to know your opinions on what I watched. Did I watch anything that you really like? Let me know down below, definitely. Let me know what you watched as well, your favorites, if you had any 5 stars, any new movies. Let me know what you thought about Sinners. Okay, if you were able to see Sinners in theaters, how amazing was it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you absolutely love that story? If you haven't seen Sinners yet, get your ass to the theater, okay? There's not many empty seats left, but you better put your butt in one. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the support. As always, if you are a returning subscriber, if you are clicking on another video of mine, I appreciate your support so much. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any movie or book content that I make in the future. If you like this video, give it a like. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media in the description box below, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye!